Yeah, no, I thought about her, and I know I didn't implement it in the notes that I provided you, but it dawned on me, she, wanted to check on her physical well being after that injury. So it's great to hear that she is actually well, fine, and she's actually up and about and looking forward to next year.
Yes, sir.
When you talk about, so you win the first game, the first two, right? You go to Bowie, you play against Bowie, and you drop that game. Next game was against Virginia State, and it's like everything, like when I say, I don't know, let me explain this for the viewers too. In the softball championship, so after Claflin played Bowie State, they had another game immediately right after that game against Virginia State, who also played that day, but they had some time to sit, right? They had some time to get off their feet where you guys really, because of the weather, like you had to jump right back on the field and play another game.
Yeah.
And the fight in your team, it didn't look, there was no worry. The body language wasn't down. Like they was eager and hungry and ready as if they haven't played a game that day. Talk about the mindset of your team during that game against Virginia State, knowing that if that elimination game would have sent them home.
So the game with Virginia State, when it came up, it was more so of like when we lost the Bowie, like that in the semi,
Right.
hard fought game. Like
Hmm.
we gave it what we had, and that's just how it. That's how the chips played.
Y'all
When we
both
got
did.
into the
Yeah,
game,
it was
like
crazy.
it was just we gave it everything we had. Like it was one of those. If you're gonna have a softball game, this is the type of game you want to see, and that's what we gave it. Going at the end when we huddle up, it was like we got Virginia State. We got to come full force in the very beginning. We have to make them lay down because one, this was the number one team in the whole conference.
Yes.
They believe they supposed to be here.
Yes.
We cannot let them just come in play. Like we have to come full force and just go all in.
Yes.
And from the start, the very first pitch, I was like, "Oh,
You could
okay,
tell. You can tell. Like when I tell you, it was like it kind of was like when as an athlete, right? And we always talk about the next play, the next game, like erasing it from your memory. The way
yeah,
they came out in that game was if they didn't even just play a game prior to, right? Like it was like that game was over. We're on to this game, and we're not losing. That was the way the game started, and that is exactly how that game ended.
it literally went like that. Like that was the adversity
Okay.
of if you're gonna hang your heads to losing in the semi, or are you gonna bounce back and get to the championship? And
Yeah.
if you're gonna get to the championship, you let Bowie know we're coming, and you
Yeah.
make a statement that we really are coming for it. You're gonna fight us again. Like it's not just gonna end.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm sorry. My apologies, man.
Are you good?
My apologies. But yes, but you were saying that you were letting Bowie know, like, listen, we're coming for you.
We coming back. Like that was like we're gonna play y'all. This
Right.
the championship is gonna be us, and you know how we're coming.
Right. Right.
And we had to make that statement right then.
The Bowie game. When I talk about the like your teams, the adversity, but their mindset, it was like the look in their eyes, the walk, like their talk. It was different, and I think what made this game so for me as a fan, it was like it was so entertaining because Bowie loses their star center fielder in the semifinal game against you
Yeah,
guys, right? And then Foster goes down in that game, and then Bowie loses their shortstop in that game. So when you talk about the grit, and then coming back to the fact that you have 11 freshmen
that are on your team, which means that a lot of those freshmen are playing. They're
Six.
contributing now.
Six
Like
was on the roster on the field at that time.
it didn't show or it didn't ring freshman, right? It rung experience. It rung a togetherness. It rung team. It rung one. And I wouldn't. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Jalen set the tone very early with her home run.
Yes.
Like
Um,
that spoke volumes. Like off bat, gone. Okay, they're not playing.
and that's what it was like. And definitely a big shout out to Jalen. Jalen basically told the team, "Hey, CIAA is totally different. When we get to the tournament, this is the expectation. This is what you're going to hear. This is how the crowd is going to be. This is going to be the energy. No team is just going to let you walk over top of them."
Yeah,
She brought them together. She let them know because Jalen's been there. Like, that's what she knows. She knows this 100%. And, like, she she was there. Like, she led them without even saying a lot. Like, I already said this, but let me put my play on the field so you know. Like, no, we're
yeah.
here. I'm here. That's just what's gonna happen.
And she did that, man. Like I'm talking about her leadership from the field to the dugout to the batting. It was crazy, and it was contagious because they followed behind her every
Yes.
move. Um, Although the game didn't go the way you like. It was a nasty weather game. A lot of things happening, the injuries happening, but I would say you are to be commended for the job that you've done from the very moment that you got there. Because, like I said, when I in February, January, February, when I saw you in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I had no idea at that point that you were the new coach coming in. The way you and your team communicated and responded to each other, it almost seemed as if you had been there throughout the years of those other two CIAA runs. So you
Yeah.
definitely, congratulations to everything, all the success that you guys had on the field this year. I can only imagine, and I know other teams. I know Coach Z and Coach Holly and them may not like me for saying this, but it almost seems like CIAA softball got to go through Claflin and Bowie.
I mean,
I'm only saying that because the last 3 years it's been Claflin and Bowie. So it's not like I'm saying it just because you two team like your teams are just superior. I mean, from a result standpoint, from a championship standpoint, your teams have been to the CIAA championship the last 3 years facing each other.
yeah. It definitely was that. Like, when I first got here, it was like, hey, we don't got expectations, but the expectation is to
Yeah.
go to the championship. Like, I'm like, what? like, yeah, you knew, but the expectation is still to get to the championship. But we really ain't putting that pressure on you right now. But it was like, no, this is a winning culture. Like, they know how to do it. Like, the program is built like that. But that
Yes.
starts from the top. Like, my AD, Mr. O'Neill, like, the support that we get from the coaching, like from the administrator, and then, like you said, Coach Lee, Matisse. Like, I went to the AD and was like, hey, I know that's your associate AD in the SWA, but I need her. The team feeds from her. Like, that's who they had in the fall. I need somehow, some way, can I get her with the team this year? And, like, at first it was like, I don't know. And then right after, I want to say February, it was like, she's gonna be with you. Make it happen. Now
Yeah.
you have no excuse not
Yeah.
to make it.
Yeah.
So, like, that was in the back of my head. Like, I got the SWA with me. I asked for this coach who
Yeah.
is the another associate AD. I have to make it to the championship. And she said it. She was like, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We have the team. We're gonna get there.
What type of players or what style of players are you looking for at Claflin?
So with me, when I look for players, I look for 100% coachable players. Like, but you gotta have fun. Like
Yeah,
softball itself is competitive, but it's supposed to be your outlet. This supposed to
absolutely.
be fun for you as an athlete. Like, yeah, when you get on the field, I want to win. I want to battle, but it's supposed to be fun. So like my team, as you see, they cheer, they have fun, they dance, like they do all that. Like I'm all with that. I'm encouraging them to keep cheering. I'm the coach who at practice we listen to music because
Okay.
it's rhythm. I want them to stay on that rhythm because when we're in the game, we're cheering. But
Right.
when we on defense, the other team is cheering. It still don't it don't so I think the
No,
players
you're
that I
good.
look for, yeah, the players that I look for, I'm more so of just I want an athlete who open minded, who's good with taking on adversity, who has the saying of knowing that hey, when I come in, I gotta fight for my position. Like this is a
Yeah.
winning program. I know I'm going into a winning program. It's not just gonna be handed to me. Like this is different from high school and travel ball where your team is who can get on the team. I can bring in the players that I want, and everybody here is just as good as you. But
Right.
also more so of the parents.
Right.
Parents is a big key factor of recruiting now. Like
Yes.
knowing that hey, at some point you gotta trust the coaching staff to help with your your kid. Like
Yeah.
you can't coach from the sideline because it might go against what I'm saying. And you're putting them in a bad situation. Like, do I listen to my parents or do I listen to my coach?
And you got a tough job because I hear
Like,
the parents at the game.
and it's like, as a coach, I can block the parents out. That's cool. You're a spectator. You feel what you feel in that moment because that's what's going on. But it's
Right.
also like sticking to the coaching strategy. But as an athlete, I gotta determine do I listen to my parent or do I listen to my coach? You're putting that athlete into a bad situation. So when it comes to coaching, like come to recruiting, I go to these tournaments and I listen to what parents say and how they say it. Yeah, support the athletes, but don't coach them through it. That's what you got to coach for.
Right. So last thing I want to do, right? I want to play a video for you. And after the video, I want you to tell me your thoughts um, and what that means to you as a coach and the significance that it says about Claflin
Okay.
as a university, but more importantly, as a softball team, right?
All right.
All right, so let's go ahead and cue it up.
First team all conference at the utility position. Not to be overlooked, she had an outstanding year and made the second team CIAA all conference pitcher. She's a senior on this team that will be missed, though there's some CIAA teams that are glad to see her get gone. Also, on the CIAA all conference team, sophomore Cindy Cooper, second team all conference shortstop, 308 batting average. Future is bright. On the all rookie team, the CIAA all rookie team with 11 freshmen on the roster, two of them made the all CIAA team. Janiyah Williams as a catcher. She was third with a 460 batting average. Led the team with 34 runs scored. Also, freshman Caitlin Grissom. She was second on the team with 25 strikeouts. I mean, she struck out 25 times. She struck out 25 people. Future's bright. Congratulations to the all softball honorees that made all CIAA for the Claflin Lady Panthers. Insights, Rope.
When you see that and you hear those names and you talk about your leader and Jalen, you talk about your underclassman, your sophomore who also made second team. You talk about your two freshmen or two of your freshmen out of the six that was on the field who made all rookie. What is that when you see that video and you hear those? What does that say to you as a coach? What does it say about Claflin and their softball team?
It's a good feeling, like to see the players get rewarded for their production. Like great feeling. Like I said, Jalen, that's a player that's like you can't ask for nothing more. Like she knows the game inside and out. And if she ever decides to coach, man, like her coaching style, but also her knowledge of the game would be so crazy. Sid, shortstop. Like she did everything. Like that was the thing. Like she had to step up and just run the infield as the shortstop as a sophomore. And then of course the freshmen like Janai catching. I think she was third in the conference with her batting average as the leadoff. So just her and doing that, just being on that type of level as a freshman, and then Caitlin, like a lot of coaches reached out to me and was like, "Where you been hiding her at?" Like they saw her in the tournament. Like they knew of her, but they really saw what she could do in a tournament. I was like, Coach, that right there, like I'm like, yeah, once she developed it, and now she believes and see that she can make it happen because she did pitch to Bowie in the semi game and made it happen the innings that she pitched. Like it was like, hey, like I know I can do this now, like getting that confidence. So it's like they produced, and I believe they saw what Jalen always saw within herself. Like Jalen know, like I know what I can do, but everybody else started realizing like we really, really can do this. And just having those awards just give you that proof, like, nah, I'm really been doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, but me as a coach, it's like, yeah, like that's me. Like that's I'm getting them to this level. Like I'm putting them out there so y'all can really see what I got going on. Like, yeah, we young over here, but don't think we're a little pushover. Like, yeah, I'm a younger coach. I'm like even in saying I'm a younger coach, I always say, well, I'm a younger African American coach because if you look in the softball world, you don't see a lot of African American men that's under 35. Like I'm 35, I'll be 36 this year, but when you do a deep dive, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And deep diving to see how many that actually is a head coach, I'm like, man, like it's a bigger spotlight, it's more pressure. So when I hear like, hey, you're a young coach, like at first you used to like, man, I'm not young. Like I'm 35. Like I've been through war. I'm not young. But then it's like, nah, like it's because it's not normal.
Yeah.
And to get a team that I didn't recruit to buy into the system to end where we ended at, even though it's not what we wanted, it's like, oh man, like now we know. And then to have it come right back. So it's like, hey, if we did it 3 times, we should be able to go 4. Like, as you say, on the South side, if you want to make it to the championship, you got to go through us. That's just what it is.
Listen, there's no better way to end off, man. Congratulations, Coach, to you and the 2024 Claflin Lady Panthers on the success that you guys had again this year, making it to the CIAA championship against Bowie. I know, albeit it didn't go your way, but the fact that you was there again with 5 returning players, 11 freshmen, all of whom you did not recruit, and yourself being a new coach, and still being able to blend it together and come out with the winning formula is to be commended. Thank you very much for joining me today, man.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Coach Ricky Holden, Claflin University softball coach. I'm the host Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.